Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Mike Tomlin speaks out on Steelers playing in Ireland after opponent reveal. The NFL announced Tuesday the Pittsburgh Steelers will face the Minnesota Vikings in Dublin, Ireland during Week 4 of the 2025 NFL season. Hours after the announcement, the Steelers released a video of head coach Mike Tomlin sharing what the game will mean to him. Because of the setting, it won't be the typical Week 4 matchup in the league. "We are unbelievably excited about this opportunity to play in Dublin," Tomlin said in a video the team released on its YouTube channel. "It is an honor and a privilege to represent the game of American football internationally and maybe introduce it to a new set of fans. It is a great honor to play the game we love and be able to do so on foreign soil." The Steelers will serve as the home team in the Dublin, Ireland matchup with the Vikings. Steelers-Vikings will kick off at Croke Park at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Sunday, September 28. The matchup will air on NFL Network and stream on NFL+. Mike Tomlin, Steelers hosting Vikings in Dublin, Ireland matchup. Tomlin explained that there were two very specific reasons why the Steelers are excited about playing in Ireland this fall. The first was the opportunity to represent American football and grow the game in Europe. The second was Steelers Pro Football Hall of Fame executive Dan Rooney. "I smile when I think about the late great ambassador, Dan Rooney, and how fired up he would be about this game," Tomlin added. "I remember when he was ambassador to Ireland he used to have a 4th of July flag football game each year, and so I think about him. But I also just simply think about the honor and privilege to play our game globally. This will be Pittsburgh's first international game in 12 years, which was the longest current drought for any NFL team participating in the league's international series." Ironically, in Pittsburgh's last international game, the Steelers faced the Vikings. That matchup also happened in Week 4 at Wembley Stadium in London, England. The Vikings defeated the Steelers 34-27, as Pittsburgh dropped to 0-4 to begin the 2013 season. Steelers Depot's Alex Kozora wrote Tuesday former quarterback Ben Roethlisberger and other ex-Pittsburgh players have said in more recent years that many Steelers experienced jet lag from the trip, which could have impacted their performance. With that in mind, it will be interesting to see how Tomlin approaches the travel arrangements to Dublin. There were rumors this offseason the Steelers would face the Green Bay Packers in Dublin during Week 4. Instead, the Steelers will host the Packers in Pittsburgh in what could be Aaron Rodgers' first matchup against the team that drafted him. Steelers, Vikings making history in NFL's international series. The Steelers and Vikings going to Europe this fall will be historic for a couple different reasons. The Steelers-Vikings matchup in Dublin will be the NFL's first regular season game in Ireland. It will also be only the second league game ever in the country. The Steelers faced the Chicago Bears in the 1997 NFL preseason. This fall, the Vikings will become the NFL's first team to play back-to-back games in different foreign countries. During Week 5, the Vikings will face the Cleveland Browns in London. Minnesota has a lot more recent experience playing in Europe than the Steelers. The Vikings defeated the New York Jets 23-17 in London last season. Steelers get criticism for major Aaron Rodgers decision. The Pittsburgh Steelers are under fire for their drawn-out pursuit of Aaron Rodgers, a decision that has sparked critical discussions across the NFL. With Rodgers' future still unclear, the franchise's off-season strategy has been labeled risky and potentially misguided. Rodgers, at 41, remains an enigmatic figure, with his decision-making timeline leaving Pittsburgh in limbo. Critics argue that relying on such an unpredictable veteran quarterback has put the team in a precarious position. The franchise's lack of decisive action has left their quarterback room thin, creating uncertainty heading into the 2025 season. This offseason, Pittsburgh has made minimal moves to address their quarterback depth, drafting Ohio State's Will Howard in the 6th round and retaining Mason Rudolph. Analysts view this as a gamble, particularly with Rodgers remaining non-committal. the prolonged wait for Rodgers' decision risks derailing the team's preparations for mandatory minicamp in June. NFL insiders have highlighted the team's vulnerability, emphasizing the strain on their roster-building process. Rodgers' history of skipping off-season programs and his unpredictable nature further complicate matters. Critics suggest Pittsburgh's dependency on Rodgers is more about his name recognition than his recent performance, which has shown signs of decline. Pittsburgh's decision to pursue Rodgers was recently named one of the worst moves this offseason. This is detailed more in an analysis by Gary Davenport for Bleacher Report. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been waiting on Aaron Rodgers to make a decision about playing in 2025 for weeks now. Folks are attempting to discern Rodgers' plans from any kernel of information, with the latest being Rodgers joining a Pittsburgh-area golf club. But at this point, former New York Giants Vice President of Player Personnel Mark Ross told Nate Davis of USA Today that Rodgers has officially become more grief than he's worth before ever joining the team. Pittsburgh's decision has also been scrutinized in the context of broader league dynamics. With teams like the Jets struggling under similar circumstances last season, Pittsburgh's approach appears fraught with potential pitfalls. Observers question whether the risk aligns with the team's long-term goals, especially given Rodgers' age and off-field priorities. The Steelers now face mounting pressure to solidify their plans at quarterback. Whether Rodgers ultimately signs or not, Pittsburgh's handling of the situation serves as a cautionary tale, highlighting the importance of balancing ambition with pragmatism in the ever-competitive NFL landscape. Minnesota Vikings coach Kevin O'Connell relishing Dublin raid for Steelers showdown. Dublin is preparing itself for a very 21st-century Viking raid as the Minnesota Vikings have been named as the Pittsburgh Steelers' opponents for the NFL's first regular season game in Ireland. Croke Park will open its doors on the last Sunday of September, the 28th, to two teams who made the NFL playoffs last year in what will be the most anticipated matchup of the NFL's European slate, which was announced in Dublin Castle yesterday. The presence of American football in Croke Park also brings with it a change to the terraces, as the NFL have confirmed that seats will be put into the Hill 16 end. The league have also said that the game will be priced similarly to its Tottenham games, where tickets usually start at around €80. For Ireland, the smallest market to ever host an NFL international game, it is a return on the €10 million in state investment that has gone into this event, with a large contingent of traveling fans anticipated to boost the tourism sector. For the GAA in Croke Park, it is something to build for in a September period that is quieter in recent years, with the NFL confirming that around 76,000 tickets are expected to be sold in headquarters. For the Vikings, it's a nice competitive boost as they take tough trips to Pittsburgh and Cleveland off their calendar. Minnesota will face the Steelers in Dublin a week before battling the Browns in Tottenham, the first team to play two away fixtures in a row outside the United States. It's a wily move. Their Norse namesakes would be proud of, one that keeps them away from tough matchups in America's cold Rust Belt and instead lets them press the flesh with fans in Europe. And for Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell, it represents a bit of a homecoming. My family are very excited. I cannot wait to connect with my Irish heritage. I've never actually been before, and who knew it would come in the form of bringing my football team over, O'Connell said. O'Connell is one of the most highly rated coaches in the league, leading the Vikings to a 14-3 season last year. And you can tell he believes in the opportunity these international games can bring his team, as he avoided a much-used cliché thrown about by NFL coaches who come to Europe that it's just another game. It would be very easy to say, hey, it's just another game, but it would be short-sighted as a coach not to learn about and engage in the history and what makes Croke Park special, O'Connell said. When you think about opportunities to play in unique atmospheres and environments, what better way to do that than to play in Dublin? And you, fan? What do you think about Kevin O'Connell's situation? Write to us in the comments.